There's nothing else to say. Hi, guys. Okay, let's wait.
Let's wait for the audience.
Okay, you need to use your phone. Yeah, I'm getting notifications.
So, guys, welcome to the Rover Vibes Fitness, Wellness, and Lifestyle Solution. Hi, Moin.
Hi, Moin. How are
Very
you?
good evening.
Very, very good evening to you. Okay. Moin, please help us
To share this feed.
to share this feed. Oh, lovely. He started sharing also. You're the best, Moin. And Moin, I did receive your message. I hope you're coming live, meeting me on Thursday when I'm going live for angel readings. Okay, accept the feed. I have.
So, guys, welcome to the Rover Vibes Fitness, Lifestyle, and Solution. Fitness, Wellness, and Lifestyle Solution. I am Rahul, your host. I'm a fitness coach, sports nutritionist, anabolic coach, and special population expert. And I am with Samara. She's your co host.
Hi, I am Samara, and I'm a tarot reader, life coach, spiritual healer, and a corporate trainer. And I have Raslin Kaur saying hi. How are you guys? Wonderful. We are wonderful,
good.
Raslin.
How are you, Raslin?
And Raslin, please help us share this feed in a few groups. And I'm sending you a link. Please share it on your WhatsApp. How has been your Sunday?
Stay tuned, guys. We are about to start in some minutes.
Awesome, Raslin. You shared it in a few groups. I can see the shares getting. Oh, wow. You already have 17 shares from you guys. Lovely. I'm also doing a little bit of work. Just engage with my audience, talk about the next coming up session. In the meantime, while we join the Kaya with us, yes, Raslin, I see you've already shared in about 8 to 9 groups. Rahul here is going to let you guys know about what's coming up and a little bit about our YouTube channel.
So, guys, अभी हमने YouTube चैनल भी ऑन किया है, जिस तरह से आप सभी को पता होगा, as you guys are know. तो जो कि आपने ऑलमोस्ट सभी आपने सब्सक्राइब किया है, और मैं चाहूंगा इस फीड को प्लीज शेयर करें आप जिसने इस फीड को शेयर नहीं किया है. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
So we have enough audience to start.
Yes, we do. I just want to share it in a few groups. Actually, Kai is facing some difficulty. She's on WhatsApp with me. So she has some problem with the visual. So I'm just helping her out. In the meantime, Rahul, please tell us about what we can see about, what we can talk about fitness in the upcoming webinars.
So see, guys, we are also planning to go live with international coach, international fitness coach, and most probably we are coming live with him on 31st.
Yes, he is from Russia.
Yes, he is from Russia.
And
Basically, he is from India, but he trained over there.
okay, great. Okay, guys, so I'll tell you what Rahul wanted to say about the YouTube channel. I don't know what he said so far, and we have Kaya also on the feed, so she'll join us pretty soon on the feed. And what we wanted to say was that, there are two more playlists that we have added on the YouTube channel. One is about chakra healing series, and one is about little tips of fitness and lifestyle. So these are very short videos, which you must have seen before. They're all collated in one playlist, and you guys can actually go through that, and it'll be very interesting. Okay, so Kaya is almost here. Hola, cat. Good to have you. Okay, so let's talk about today. It always takes us a little while for us to introduce, our guest. And this guest is a very special guest. She is joining us from Canada, Ontario. Okay, so she's coming back shortly. She's just waiting on her visuals. Let me tell a little bit about her work. She's a psychic. Okay, she is a spellcaster. She is a Wiccan. She's also a Reiki grandmaster. She's a tarot teacher. Okay, so the list is endless. Okay, and also, she's going to tell us a little bit about one of her businesses, which is about tea, and about chai. So Rahul कुछ चाय के बारे में बोलना चाहेंगे because अभी हम चाय पी रहे थे.
If you are not a chai lover, you are not a friend of mine.
Okay, meme time. Okay, so just waiting for. Yeah, there she is. So Kaya, we have already introduced you. I hope you could hear us, and we're welcoming Kaya on the feed now. There she is.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hi,
Hi.
Kaya.
Too much magic.
Too much magic, yes. So today is going to be all about magic. Yes? I hope you're comfortable.
I honestly still have a hard time hearing you, but I'm going to try my best. Maybe I'll just hold it to my ear.
Yeah, that'll be great. I would like to ask the audience, I hope you can hear us well. Can you hear Kaya? Can you hear us?
Are we proper audible? Please, guys, comment and let us know.
We also have Kat Arena Rose. Kat, can you hear us? I think she's also joined us from there. Please let us know if you could hear us.
Maybe Sophia is also from there.
Yes. So I'm waiting for you guys to respond and let us know if you can hear us. Hear me or hear Kaya. I think they can hear us because we're getting. Yes, Kat says that she can hear us.
Okay.
Pretty clear.
But I'll do my best.
Okay, we'll go slow. Okay. Okay, she says I can hear, and she's also telling you she's here.
She's saying what, sorry?
She's saying I can hear, and I am here, and with a cat face with the hearts.
Hi, Kat. Hi, sweetie. I don't know where my Bluetooth speaker is.
Yeah, she's
and I have actually a hard time hearing.
Yes, she is.
I always have. I don't know where it is. Okay, whatever. I'm not meant to find it.
Let it be. So we're done with the intros here. We're going slow, and we're going as loud as possible for you to hear us. Okay.
Okay.
So Kaya, first of all, First of all, I would like you to introduce yourself, and I would also like you to tell us about your work in your own words.
Okay, introduce myself and tell you about my work. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Kaya, and I am a witch. I read tarot cards. I'm also a shamanic practitioner. I help people with healing. I particularly am well versed in spiritual awakenings, as I've had multiple ones. And the work that I do involves divination, but also working with the tarot as a tool of intelligence in order to unlock those portals of abundance for people so they can live their best lives. I also do personal coaching, and I help people go through some of those limiting self blocks that hold themselves back from really living their true, raw, authentic power. My purpose really is to work on showing the soul herself and himself so that it can best express its life purpose, also known as Dharma. I'm also a Reiki teacher. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yes.
And I also work with the chakras. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, great. It is so good to know about you from you directly, some of which I mentioned to the audience here. And then, now you're talking about it clearly. We want to know all about magic today, which is why everybody is here. We have a great number of audience, by the way. So a lot of people are listening to you.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm just going to run over there and grab my other phone so that I can see the chat because I can't see the chat here.
Please take your time.
Thank you.
Alonso is also here. Hi, Alonso.
Yes, you see Kaya. Yes. So, guys, while Kaya is joining us, just let's be a little patient. Hi,
okay,
Moin.
I'm ready for whatever questions or comments are coming up. I'm also just gonna see the comments on Facebook.
Yes, on the phone. Great. Hi, Naman. Naman, please help us share the feed in a few groups. So I am going to ask you, Kaya, about your magical journey.
Okay, awesome. Oh no, did it freeze?
No.
Oh, we are not.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, we are ready. We are just getting comments from people already shared.
Okay.
Yeah, we are doing good.
Thank you, Naman.
Okay, so Kaya, we want to know about you, about the magical journey. Your magical journey. Please tell us.
About my magical journey. Okay. I'll give you the cliff notes because this could be hours and hours and days. So I'll give you the cliff notes about my magical journey. I think honestly, I was born magical. We all are, but I knew that I was magical at a very early age. I remember when I was like 3 years old, I was talking to God, and I mean, asking things that a 3-year-old would ask for, right? Like, can I have more candy?
Right. The screen is frozen. I'm getting network issues over there. It's not here. Kaya, the screen is frozen. Kaya, sorry to interrupt you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did it just kind of go off for a little bit?
It froze down a little bit. We have heard you when you were talking about when you were 3-year-old and you were talking to God. So we missed you after that.
Well, I remember one experience in particular, which I have recounted and nobody ever believes me. But I remember I was like 3 years old and I was at the end of my bed, at the edge of the bed. And I was standing up and I had these chocolates, this little bag of chocolates, and I loved those chocolates. And of course, like I ate everything I could, put my eyes on. So I remember finishing this little bag of chocolate and saying to God, can I just have one more, please? I just want one more. And it was like these little, like round little chocolate things. Right. I don't know what was in them, mint or something. And and I just remember putting my hand out like this, and a couple chocolates just like fell into my hand, like they just came from the sky. And so that was one of the experiences that I had, and I remember telling my parents about it. And of course, nobody believes a child, right? Especially when it's something that spectacular. And
Yes.
I was very I would say I was kind of unusual in the sense that I really lived a magical world, and I would create all of these like magical interpretations and fantasies in my mind, to the point where I didn't really need friends. Like, I really enjoyed my own company because I felt like I could just narrate all these magical stories and be part of them. And I would also just look into the mirror a lot, and I would just talk to the mirror. So I was always doing these things. And I remember when I was like 7 or 8, I started gathering my friends, or I would go to someone's house, and kids, I would meet new kids, and I would say to them, let's have a seance, like let's sit in a circle and talk to spirits. So I was always
Right.
fascinated by that world. Um, and then as I got older, I started to educate myself on the occult. I started to, I don't know how or when I got my first tarot deck, but I was a teenager, and it was the Rider-Waite-Smith. I also had a Buddhist deck, so I started to learn about Buddhism as well. I was
Mm-hmm.
introduced to a Hare Krishna group when I was 18, and that's when I began my love with Hinduism, and learning about all of the polytheism of the goddesses and gods. And I was really
Mm-hmm.
fascinated by it all. And I grew up Roman Catholic. I grew up in a Christian household, and there wasn't really, I mean, the magical world is completely, you know, um, blasphemed. It's not something that Christians dabble in. So I guess it was
Right.
always my rebellious nature that just wanted to push the envelope and go a little bit deeper into it. I would play Ouija boards. With the Ouija board, I would just create Ouija boards out of anything that I found.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun to me. It was fascinating to me because I knew that there was this other world outside of this world
Right.
that we could communicate with. So that's just like the
Lovely.
small version of my magical experience. My spiritual awakening happened when I was 28, and
Mm-hmm.
it was incredible. It was very traumatic, but it was also incredible and fascinating. I could see different dimensions. I could interact with beings from different dimensions. I sat next to
Lovely.
Archangel Michael at a coffee shop. I met
Wow.
elemental spirits. Um, I saw my grandfather, who had passed away like over 20 years ago. I saw him fully alive within a
Right.
different dimension. It was just incredible what I saw and what I experienced. And since then, I have been able to see spirits. And I don't see them like ghosts, like they're not translucent. They're actually like
Mm-hmm.
full bodied beings. Like, I sometimes I don't even know if it's a ghost because they look like a regular person. And the only way that
Right.
I know that it's a spirit or an
Right.
interdimensional entity is because 1 second they're there, and then like in a flash gone.
Right. Right. So that's actually fascinating. People, especially who are learning about angelology and knowing that you were sitting in a coffee shop with Michael, the archangel. I think that is
Yes.
pretty fascinating. So that's lovely. And also, I would like to say, it is very, the clear audience ability that people have, the ability that you have, like you say, you can see the bodies. They are not translucent. Um, so, how is it different from clear audience? I mean, I'm talking about from a very common perspective, as a one, as a common man. So, how would they
Hmm.
differentiate the clear audience ability?
Hmm. Well, I have been able to train myself in a lot of the different psychic mediums and abilities. So
Right.
clairaudience, I do also hear things, but it's usually not outside of myself. Like,
Okay.
I know that it is a spirit, and I know that it is the voice of the divine because it comes
Mhm.
from within.
Right.
And in terms of like my other psychic abilities, I'm able to also channel spirits. I can feel into them. So I can know, for instance, how somebody crossed over. I
Right.
can experience that feeling and that experience in my mind and in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quite empathic in my psychic abilities as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I have the vision where I can actually see the beings in this life, in this 3D world, but it's all interdimensional. And that's what I've come to learn, that we live in sort of like an onion, and there's layers upon layers of different dimensions that we have the ability to interact with depending on our frequency. So depending on how high I get, really frequency wise, I can experience more of it.
So, and any tips or any thing that you would like to give to people who are into their spiritual awakening process right now? Anything that you can tell them to make their journey easier?
You know, depending on where they are with their spiritual journey, I mean, I had a full-blown spiritual awakening. So there was nothing that was going to ground me or calm my sails. It was, you know, it was all or nothing for me. So I actually ended up in a psychiatric ward, being tied up against my will and force medicated to try to get the crazy out of me. Because when you go through that kind of experience, people think you're nuts, right? I'm sure I looked completely insane. And also, you have so much energy coming through your body. And I'm already an energetic person, but imagine this times like infinity, right? It was just like so much energy, and people could see it. So of course it threatened people. It made people feel uneasy. And so what I would say is, I know people that have had gentler spiritual awakenings. Mine, I think, was pretty traumatic. And they say that a shaman or a healer is born in 3 ways. So 1 through trauma, 2 through sickness, and 3 through death. And for me, it was kind of all of those things, because after they medicated me against my will, the poison that they put in me actually made me very sick. It made my soul, my body, and my mind very sick. And so I had to learn to heal from that. And then I died. I actually did die at 28. I became a different person. I had another soul enter me. So I actually have like 2 souls inside me, right? I'm 2 souled, if you can understand it that way. And many of us are. There are many people that have many different soul contracts within their body. So there was a part of me that, in a sense, was no longer the captain of the ship. And the people that this new soul that was in me, you know, the people that I was meeting and interacting with, they felt very strange to me. They felt very distant to me, because I, this soul that speaks now, didn't know who they were. Like, I had the memories of the old person that I was, but I didn't have that emotional connection to them, because this was a new connection. Now I am both. I am together. I have learned to mesh and to, you know, and to blend the two souls that I am. But for a very long time, it was very difficult. And I felt like, I actually felt like an imposter with the people that I was closest to. So my suggestion would be to, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, to ride the wave, to know that you are special and that you have been chosen to accomplish a very divine purpose and mission. That you will probably feel like a complete stranger and imposter to the people closest to you when you start to resurface out of your spiritual awakening, because the old you has died. There is a death that happens. You know, just like the butterfly has to leave its cocoon and no longer be a caterpillar. So you do morph into a new being, and just be gentle with yourself and loving with yourself, and know that over time you will learn to acclimatize and to feel at peace with those energies and with that newness that you are.
Correct. I think that's a great suggestion, and for people to know that, you know, if you are chosen and if these things happen to you, treat yourself specially, and it is completely normal as well, so that, you know, it makes the whole process very easy.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they go through a spiritual awakening, especially if they go through a similar experience that I went through, where they end up in a hospital, which is actually a prison, and it's completely unethical what they do. And it's worse. I know that it's worse in other parts of the world. But if you end up there, and a lot of shamans do end up there, you know,
Right.
you think, oh my God, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I do need to take the medication. You know,
Right.
maybe I am crazy.
Right.
And because it's such a traumatic experience, and the traumatic experience is not the experience of the awakening. That's actually a wonderful experience. Like, you're seeing all these entities, you're feeling so alive, you're feeling more alive than you've ever felt. The
Correct.
trauma is when people aren't ready for your energy and they take you and they basically murder your soul. And you
Correct.
go, that's the trauma, that's the traumatic experience. And so before, people like me, witches, were burned. We had spears going up through our genitals. It was very traumatic. We had physical trauma. And now people are still doing that. Psychiatrists and doctors and nurses are still doing that to us.
Right.
But now it's psychological torture. They put you in a room with fluorescent lights and
Correct.
they leave you there. And you think that they've just left you there to die. They'll leave you there for days without any food and water, without anyone coming in. They actually psychologically torture the shamans. That's what happens all over the
Correct.
world.
Right.
So, sorry, I just got off on a tangent there.
I think what you're
I forgot
trying
the
to say is
question.
that people are skeptical to accept somebody else's truth.
Yes,
They're
people are
skeptical.
skeptical because it's different. And people are
Yes.
afraid of what's different because people have a false illusion of control. People think that they're in control of their lives and that they're in
Right.
control of other people's lives because it makes people feel safe to think that. And
Right.
so when they see somebody going through a shamanic awakening, they're like, what is this? I can't control this. I can't understand this. So they try to control it.
Right.
And that's why we see so much trauma. And that's why our shamans or healers or witches experience so much trauma. And unfortunately, many of them don't come out of it.
Right.
You know,
True.
they end up sedating themselves and sedating their spirituality and their gifts. Or they
Correct.
end up killing themselves
Right.
because they can't live in this world that way.
Right. I
So
think
very
it's this,
few of us actually stay here
stay
and
here.
learn to balance our spiritual
Right.
gifts with the
Right.
demands of this world.
Right. And since you're talking about shamanism here, I would like to ask you very simple questions for the audience here. One is about, just generally, can you define who is a psychic? And also about what is shamanism so that people can understand it more. There is also a comment here. I just want to ask you if you're taking Vedic prediction. Are you talking about Satnam Kaur? Hi, good to have your question here. Okay, it is not related to body physics or meditation yoga. We are actually talking about Kaya's spiritual awakening. So, once we finish the session, you should go back and rewatch what she's told about. That is how it is going to make sense. Okay. So we're talking completely different things over here, which is why I have asked a question to Kaya about, tell us about who is a psychic and what is shamanism. So
Yeah, for
over
sure.
to Kaya.
So
Yeah.
shamanism is basically healing. So shamans are people that heal. Oh my God. That was way too smoky. I usually don't like turning it out like that. So shamans are people that heal with Earth's energies. They're people that are attuned to Mother Gaia, to the spirit of Mother Earth, and many of them use plant medicines or they use the energy of the earth to heal. So shaman is essentially a healer. And a psychic is someone who, and we're all psychic, by the way. All of us are psychic because we're all made of the divine stuff. That's what I call it, the divine stuff. We're all made of it. So we all have those potencies and powers of the divine. A psychic is someone who is able to connect to the third eye chakra, the ajna, right? And are able to see the world for what it is. So it's like the Hierophant's mudra in the tarot, which looks like this. And it means that what you see isn't all there is, right? So seeing beyond the veil is what a psychic is able to do. And it seems that we have lost you. Oh no. Okay, so I don't know where they went. My interviewers, maybe they'll come back. I'll just wait a few moments. But if anyone has any questions, I guess you could put them in the comments and I can answer them in the meantime. I'll just wait a few minutes for them. I know we were having a lot of technical issues and troubles. God, it's smoky. Smoky AF. Hi. I'm still here. Does anyone have any more questions? Okay. Well, with that, I think I'm going to go now. If anyone does want to get a hold of me, you can message me privately through Instagram, Tarot with Kaya, TAROT with Kaya, KAYA. You can message me there and learn more about my offerings if you want to work with me on any capacity. And yeah, I think my interviewers are having major technical issues and they have now stepped out of this realm. So I'm going to get going. I hope that was enjoyable for all of you. It definitely was for me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And let's stay connected. Much love to you all.
Can you engage with the audience?
So sorry, guys. Actually, laptop went off. Please stay tuned. She's coming live in a while. Kaya is coming live. Wait a while, guys, please. It is nobody's fault. Laptop, I don't know.
Is it working? I have to call her and I have to get it off the feed. Just a second. Keep talking to the guys. Can you hear us or whatever?
Satnam Kaur, can you hear us? Are we audible? Hi, Jyoti ma'am. Hi, Priyamita.
Not answering. You have to end this.
Hi, Gagandeep. How are you, Gagandeep Kaur?
Tarot reading के लिए पूछो if people would like tarot reading. Let me know if it will continue, please. Yes.
So guys, abhi Kaya offline chali gayi. If you guys like tarot card reading, please let us know. We can. Kaya, maybe she is coming.
Yes, she's back.
Now Kaya is with us.
Yes. Mary, yes, it's going to continue.
I'm fine. What
Oh, wait.
about you?
Great. Yes.
That was so funny. I was like, oh, my interviewers left. I guess I'm just going to stay on. I actually stayed on for a few minutes.
In fact, yesterday it was working pretty fine. Today it is giving a lot of difficulties. The test run went really good, well,
I know.
despite
It's the
my
spirit.
fact. Yeah, I think there's a lot of
They're
magic
being
happening.
trickster.
Yes, yes. So we were talking about psychic and shamanism. So I think that is when we went off.
Yeah, we did finish it. Like when you guys got off, I spoke a little bit more to it. So
Mhm.
I think
Right.
I explained it. If anyone did, I asked people if they had any questions, but nobody did. So I think we're
Yes.
good for the next question.
Yes. Yes. Gagan, Mary saying good, and she has made some emojis as well. Okay,
Mary
great.
is my mom.
Oh,
I
hi.
love her. She's the best.
Great. So you did
She doesn't
explain
like it
about.
when I do Ouija though. She doesn't like Ouija.
Oh, she doesn't like that. My
Sorry?
daughter is very interested in that. She was with her friend. She is 9, and
Mm-hmm.
she was telling me that we are going to make a Ouija board, and she told me that I've seen a few things in the park while I was playing, and I was thinking that okay, this is something coming from her, and she told me that she can see things. So
Beautiful.
it's with me, I can hear stuff, I can sense, but she says she can see, so I believe her.
Mm-hmm.
It. I
Beautiful.
think. And she's not scared. She's not scared at all. She likes all of this. And then these guys, then obviously they're 9-year-olds. They play go on a ghost hunt or something. We are going on a ghost hunt. We're actually
Uh-huh.
going for an actual ghost hunt. I said, you know what? Be careful and do not interact much, because you don't know whether it's a dark energy or whether it's a harmless one or not. So I tell her that maintain your distance. But I think she's doing
Mm-hmm.
pretty well, and stop her from doing whatever she's doing. I think, and I never told her to get into all of this, but I'm sure, the things that you have told me about your childhood and how things happened with you. I think this is a message to all the people who are watching who do not believe in these things should keep an open mind. And I think,
100%.
people like you can help a lot to, to rest of the world if they keep an open mind.
Thank you. Absolutely. I agree.
So,
And I want to work more with children because I feel that there are a lot of children that have these gifts
right,
and
right.
they may have parents who don't believe them or parents who tell them that it's wrong,
Wrong.
and I want to be able to be a guide for them.
Correct, correct. So I think, I wish that, people come up to you and, ask you. You should be, the one at the end. There should be one person who should believe in these things. The children, the go-to person for children.
Yes,
There
the
should be
fairy
one person
godmother.
like that. Yes, absolutely. So again, now coming back to, I would have to listen to what you spoke about when we went off. So the
Does it
next
get
question.
saved?
Yeah, it will get saved, yes, because we did not end the feed. So once we are going to end the session, it is going to stay recorded on our page.
Oh, okay. So you can watch that part and probably laugh.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah, it was kind of
yeah.
funny actually. Hmm.
So I think there is no introduction when it comes to magic. My question that I had in mind is, what is magic? I don't think that I would like to ask that question. I think you are magic, in itself. So
You are magic. Thank you.
so need not define that, but I would like to ask you that, sometimes here, even in India, there are a lot of people who believe to be, they are healers and they're practitioners. There is a lot of fluke as well when it comes to such things, because, people ended making up a lot of money from different, by just fooling people as well. It's very
Hmm.
difficult to know who's the real deal. And
Hmm.
they come up with a lot of questions about, giving you remedies about, like, something about relationship. You give us spells, and somebody would say that I will do a spell for you for the relationship. How would you know, if it is a real deal or not?
Absolutely. Well, for me, I personally don't do spells. I don't perform spells on behalf of other people, because when you perform a spell, you're using your own power, you're using your own energy. And I like to keep my power. I like to think it's priceless. What I do though is since I work with Reiki, which is universal life force energy, and it's an intelligent energy, I do bring that into some healing work. So for instance, if you said to me, I want to improve the relationship with my partner, I wouldn't cast a spell, but I would use the intelligence of Reiki to help you with that. Also, when I do tarot readings, I either do a video reading or I send an audio reading. So you actually hear my voice and you hear me reading for you. And I say your name. A lot of people, and you're right, there's a lot of scammers out there, especially on Instagram. They actually will take posts from other verifiable witches and psychics. They will use their posts. And then when they do a reading for you, I would be very weary of people that do an email reading. For instance, like they just send you a summary that they've written by email, because you don't know if that summary was just copied and pasted and given to so many people, and maybe just altered a little bit to suit you. So I would be weary of that. I would rather have an interaction with that psychic. Also, when people, when you get messages, and you get a lot of these Ifa priests and priestesses, they work with the Ifa, they work with the Orisha, rather, the spirits. They will say, oh, the spirits are telling me that I have to communicate this to you, and if you don't do it, things are going to go badly for you, and your health is going to suffer. And so that kind of message already is a very fear-based message. And if somebody is in integrity, they won't use that kind of language, and they also won't offer you advice unless you've asked for it, unless it's really coming from their heart and they're doing this for free, and they're like, hey, I want to do this for you because spirit wants me to, and I'm of service to spirit, right? But if they're like, oh, you need to send me $300 so I can sacrifice a goat for you so that things can go better for you, then that's not in integrity. Yeah.
Correct. How is Wiccan, the Wicca is different from witchcraft?
Well, Wicca is a religion. So they are actually an organized religion, and they have very particular practices and very structured practices because they're a religion. Whereas witchcraft is more intuitive work. You don't belong necessarily to a group. You may have a coven. You may work with a coven, which is a group of other witches and practitioners. But generally speaking, there is no dogma attached to it. It's very intuitive, personal work.
Correct. So when it comes to personal work, there is something about, we were thinking about the things that we hear from people that, if you do magic, it's going to affect your karma.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about karma? Does magic affect karma?
That's a very good question, right? So there's two things to that. And this is why I always use the power and love and intelligence of Reiki, or when you connect to the divine intelligence to guide your actions and magical workings, so that you don't affect the divine mission of that soul, right? So for instance, if I was going to do a spell for you, a money spell or whatever, and it's not in alignment with where your soul needs to be and grow, if it's not in alignment with the timeline that your soul has proposed for you in this time and space, then it wouldn't necessarily affect your karma, but it would affect your soul's journey, So I see karma as really, because karma is Saturn energy, Saturnian energy, right? And Saturn is the planet that makes things very difficult for you until you're finally living in alignment with your soul mission. So karma is really the checks and balances. It keeps you in check. It keeps you on your path. So if you do anything that takes you away from your path, it's just going to push you back into your path. That's how I understand karma.
Right.
So does that make sense?
Of course.
Hikaya, can you tell us more about spellcast and Wiccan?
Sorry?
Spellcasting.
Oh, okay, spellcasting. So there's many different ways that you can spellcast. There's so many different ways. and it's going to be really unique to the practitioner. So the kind of spell work that I do, if I'm using, of course, the power and the love of Reiki to do it, because I don't draw for my own energy, I would usually use the tarot. So you can actually spell cast with the tarot. And I teach people how to do that. And you can also do, like there's candle work that you can do. For instance, I have a business blessing candle here, and I have Lakshmi with me here. So I'll just show you quickly. So there is Lakshmi, and I work with, so I work with her to bring an abundance that is in alignment and in integrity with my soul mission. So you can work with different deities. You can work with the elementals as well. There's elemental magic. There's just so much kind of magic out there. The magic that I do for spell casting would involve candle. I do candle magic and also tarot magic.
Lovely. And for people who are watching us, I would also like to tell you that, you know, she is a teacher as well. She coaches people also. So in case you're interested, you can always reach out to her. And how we reach out to her is something we're going to talk about at the end. I would like to tell Kaya about the comments that we are getting, which is telling us how good everything is going. Gagandeep Kaur from India, she says very nice. And Jyoti from India says, well explained. Kat Arena Rose, love your comments in regards to karma. So
thank you.
And okay, so next thing that I wanted to ask you is about the tea business that you have.
Yes. So
India
my
loves
tea
chai.
business. Sorry?
I'm saying India loves chai.
Yeah, totally. Well, for me, it started in about, I'm trying to think when it started. It started after my spiritual awakening. And I was trying to formulate different teas to assist me with my healing. Because in 2011 is when I had my spiritual awakening, and I faced a lot of trauma, and I was forced a lot of poison into my body from the psychiatrists and the doctors and nurses. So I had to learn to detoxify my body and also balance my energy. So I started learning about different herbs, and I was particularly interested in wild edibles. So we have a lot of wild plants that are grown naturally in Canada, especially in the region that I'm in Ontario. So it's more like Eastern Canada. And I started to investigate them, their properties, see how they worked well together. A lot of them are also adaptogenic, so they actually balance your energy, and they're they're very healing for you. And I started formulating herbs for my own use. And then my brother, who is also a very powerful being, he said to me, he said, Kaya, these are really good teas. Why don't you bottle them and sell them? And I never thought about doing that. So it was his idea. He said, this is good. People will buy this. So I started bottling them and selling them at farmers markets.
Lovely.
And and then that led to people really enjoying them, people really loving. They're also all eco-certified organic herbs. And then I created a website. So if you go to kayastea.com, that's where I sell all of my blends. There's always new blends that are coming up. And Sorry?
Do you ship to India as well?
Yeah, I ship all over the world. I ship internationally.
Could you give me the website again if you could help me out? I would like to put it in the comments for people who would like to go and see.
I'll write it in the comments, and I'll also give everyone a promotional code. So if you use the promo code Kaya's Friends, you will get 20% off the entire website. So I'm just going to send that over. There it is. Awesome.
www.kayatea.com. Promo code is Kaya's Friends.
Kaya's Friends. So that's her website address, kayastea.com, with the promo code Kaya's Friends. Great.
Kaya's Friends.
Yes.
So everyone will get 20% off.
Yes. So she ships across all over the world. You can also see the kind of blends that she has. And we would also like to know a little bit of your success stories and, you know, testimonials. Something that you can share.
Well, with my tarot work, really what kept me encouraged to keep going was that people were telling me this is so good. Like I actually had no idea if I was accurate or not. You know, I was doing readings for clients. I started my readings actually at $25 Canadian. That's when I started my work. And people were saying, oh my God, they were saying everything that you told me has happened and is happening. And how do you see so clearly? And then I started also helping people. So instead of telling you what is going to happen, because that's divination, I would also tell people, well, these are the choices. And if you go with A, this is what could happen. These are the consequences and the rewards. If you go with B, these are the consequences and rewards. So I also help people make better decisions for themselves. And then I started to value my work more based on the testimonials that I was receiving. So $25 became $130. So now my readings are $130. And that's because of the testimonials that I have received and because my work is valued at, I mean, it's valued at much more than that, but that's where I feel comfortable charging. And I know that there are readers that charge twice, if not more than that. I know people that charge $300 for a reading, and they'll just send you an email reading. Like they won't even send you an audio reading or a video reading. So, and I do, you know, and I appreciate psychics that do value their work. So if you value your work and you're getting really good testimonials and encouragement from people, then you can raise your prices.
Correct. I think everybody should do that. Whoever, you know, that's how you quantify your value, because see, you can't really put a price on value. But I think it is necessary as well, because, you know, once I also feel the same thing that, you know, if you give any advice or any guidance and people don't invest in that, they do not take it seriously. The more the investment, the more it's going to go. So I think it is more related to psychologically with their minds as well. So I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even when I was teaching Reiki in 2011, I started teaching. And I would teach for free. And you know, Reiki level 1 is a $300 to $400 course. So I would teach, and that's Canadian. I know you guys are in India, so it's totally different ball game. But you know, it's pretty substantial actually, $400 Canadian. But if I was giving it to people for free, and I actually initiated hundreds of people for free. This was for the first 3 years of my work. Nobody actually really appreciated it. Nobody even practiced Reiki after I taught them the class. So, you know, if I teach a class for free, people generally don't appreciate it when it costs them something. When it actually is an investment and it's a dent in their pocket, then they pay better attention. They're like, oh my God, I paid for this, so I better be paying attention. Right? So I also charge now as an honor to that, as a way to honor the student and to encourage them to pay attention. Because I know that if it's not making a dent in their pocket, they're probably not going to value it.
They're not going to value it. Totally right. Kat Rose, she's written Kaya's tea is fantastic.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, sweetie.
Kaya, any tips for or remedies for love relationship, black magic, evil eye, business career, or whatever you gave us, our audience?
Any tips? Okay. Well, I'm going to give this tip to women. This is a very powerful tip for women. This is your own magic. So when you bleed once a month, you have your menstrual cycle. That blood is very powerful and it's filled with magic. So you can actually use that blood for your magical workings. What I would do is take some of that blood and maybe put it in a cotton, like, you know, little like cotton swab, and wrap it in some silk or some nice cloth, and just keep it with you. Keep it with you the whole month until your next cycle, so that you can stay magical until your next cycle. So this is for women that still bleed. And if you no longer bleed, you can, and you're part of a coven or a group, you can ask the women if they can share some of that magic with you. Right? That's one thing that women can do. And there's a lot that you can do apart from that with the magical workings of your blood, of your elixir. And for men, your semen is also magical. It's full of the potential to create life. So you can also use your semen for magical workings. So these are things, these are fluids that we already have in our bodies. You don't have to go to a store and buy something, right? And you can use that. And there's also a lot of work that you can do with the orgasm, for instance. So when you're about to orgasm, that is full power. You direct the orgasm into what you want to manifest, whether it's life, career, work, money. Again, this is something that flows from within you.
Right.
Right. So I'll leave you guys with that as a tip, because that's you're already magical.
People create on their own. They don't have to, go and get it. All ingredients are available to you, and it's just that you should know how to use them. So
exactly. They're already with you.
Right. And I also want to know about, here, especially in India, again, going back to the thing that I asked you about, the fluke and getting the real deal. A lot of people also talk about, evil eye or black magic, voodoo. There is a lot here. I am sure you must have read as well that, things are practiced over here. So I want to know your opinion on that. If because people just say per se that this is what it is, but it is actually not. Sometimes it is not really dark energy, sometimes it's not black magic. How would you get to know that how to deal with the energy, a dark energy, evil eye in a real sense? How can a common with that if they do not have an access to a healer or they do not have access to a practitioner? Yeah, I think everybody has the right to at least protect themselves. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's a great question. And I know the whole idea of entities and protection spells, I know that makes a lot of money as well. It's very lucrative. And this is the thing, what you believe in, you experience. So if you believe in dark entities, if you believe that you are vulnerable to attack, then that's what you will experience, right? So a lot of people live in fear, and they pay a lot of money to be protected, when really what you need to do is protect what you need protection from is really yourself and your own limiting self beliefs, right? Because if you say to yourself in the morning, I am a divine being and I am protected by my ancestors and my guides and I am impenetrable, then that will, and you say that enough to yourself, you will begin to believe it, and that creates a shield of protection. But if you're constantly giving your power away to people that will protect you, and you have to pay them to protect you, or you're constantly giving your power away to entities and dark energies, then of course you're going to need all the spells in the world to protect you from it.
Right. I think, just to have a self-protection shield without investing any money, the affirmation that you talked about, that you are a divine being, that, like, for example, what I do is I say I'm a powerful being and nothing can affect me. I do that.
Exactly.
And, there's a practice that you can do it in the morning or whenever. I don't limit myself to a particular part of the day. I'm not a person like that. So again, you should be limitless is what I feel. And again, this is a shield of protection. That if you think there is no energy, if you don't give the power to that energy is going to die anyway, because it's all in you. Magic is in you.
Magic is in you. And that's the summary of this whole interview. Magic is in you. I love that. And, also I'm very wary of people that go on and on and on about dark entities. It's like when people are going on and on about dark entities, it's like, you need to just maybe hang out in front of the mirror for a while, because you see what you are, and you feel what you are. So when you said to me, you are magic, you're seeing what you are. So any judgment that you make about the world outside of you is a judgment you make about yourself. So if you're constantly seeing the negativity and the darkness in everyone else, that's stuff that you are seeing about yourself that you don't want to look at, accept, and love. Right? So the darkness really shows up for us to see it, to understand the core wounds, to love it, so that we no longer have a strong reaction to it. And so that it doesn't take our power away when we have, because anything that you react to will take your power. Right? Absolutely. So where attention goes, energy flows. That's one of my mantras. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Very beautiful. I think it is about, when we talk about evil eye, I think it sells like hotcakes. And I think that is the reason people keep talking about it. And, creating the dents in people's mind that, it's real, it's going to affect you. And that fear factor that we were talking about earlier, that, inducing fear in our mind that, this is where you need protection and this is why you should pay us. I think there's certain things which you can do, for yourself. There is a question here. There is a question
from Minji Sharma from India. You seem to have found peace within. Can you share some tips on how to stay balanced and attract peace?
That's beautiful. One of the ways that I found my balance was to stop caring what other people thought about me. That was a big, big thing, because every time I spoke about myself or my spiritual experience, I could hear my own self-talk saying, you sound crazy. You sound fucking nuts, And so when I shut those thoughts and I said, you know what, I don't actually care, because unless somebody's gone through my experience, walked in my shoes, they won't understand my vantage point.
Right.
And so I think the biggest part that brought me into the state of balance and peace is that, to stop caring what other people thought, because everyone's actually too worried about what other people think of them to worry about what they think about you. So that's a big thing that I came to realize. And then the other part of it is to have self-love and self-respect. So always checking in with myself. So I used to be someone that would say yes, 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 yes to everyone and everything. And then I began to actually pull back and check in with myself. Well, actually, Kaya, how do you feel about that?
Right.
And maybe some of the thoughts that came up were, well, I'm tired, actually. I want to take a nap, or I don't feel like driving, today, or maybe I need to eat something and ground. So always checking in with yourself and where you're at, because you can't help anybody unless you help yourself. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's very important. But I think the biggest part of people's anxiety is constantly caring what other people think about them or what people expect of them. Yeah.
I think if you're comfortable with your own self, you don't really have to think about what other people are thinking. So, enjoying your own company is actually some people should give attention to. You should be able to do that. And, outside of that is all external factors which should not affect you. It should be like a movie which is going on. You should entertain yourself with that. That's what I feel.
Totally. And also express your deepest and darkest, make peace with your shadow,
Yes.
Express your raw sexual power, because for a very long time, I was very repressed from that, it's just come alive within yourself. That's a big part of finding that inner peace.
Of course. And I think, you need to balance in all areas as well, be it spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. You need to be balanced in all the areas. So whatever makes you happy, whatever helps you balance, I think, you should make your peace with that. In fact, I also, I see people when they talk about being positive, they think that, if you have a negative thought, you don't have to give attention to that. I tell people that, if you have a negative thought, if you are sad, depressed, unhappy about something, you need to deal with that too. You can't avoid that. So in order for you to, you first have to deal with the negative in order to be positive in case you're getting negative. So people immediately like to avoid it, not giving it attention, forcing themselves to be positive. I think it's more of an organic process, and you should deal with whatever comes your way. And you should deal with it as you are, not as what people are thinking of you. So I think it is more about that too. Right?
Absolutely. Very well said. And sitting with those uncomfortable emotions, right? Because when you have an uncomfortable emotion like sadness or grief or pain or sadness, it means that there's something out of alignment with you. And so you need to sit with it until you understand where that core wound is. Maybe it's a belief that actually doesn't serve you, that is leading you to have that negative emotion. Right.
Correct.
So sitting with it, and feeling through it. The only way to feel out of an emotion is through it. So you need to feel it fully, give it all of your energy and power so that it no longer controls you.
Of course. And I think that's a very powerful saying. And it's something that, again, you're ending with that magic from your own being. There's something from your own life sharing with people. And I think they should pay heed to that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's your own magic. Like you said, even that uncomfortable emotion, that is your own magic. That's coming from within you. So give it
Right.
all of your attention, because you're just giving it back to you, and
Right.
feel into it so that you know what is out of alignment. There's a belief that's making me feel this way about someone or something or about myself. So once you
Correct.
shift it, you shift the emotion, but you have to shift the belief first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think with that in mind, we have, if you guys have any questions, you can ask Kaya. It was wonderful to have her here.
And Kaya, where can we connect you?
It was wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. You can connect with me on Instagram. That's actually, my entire business is on Instagram. And I also have a YouTube account. But
Right.
Instagram is the way to go. I'm very quick with my responses on Instagram. So you can go over to Tarot with Kaya, TAROT with Kaya. I'm just going to write it here in the comments. So this is on Instagram. And you can also, I have 2 Instagram accounts. The other one is for my Reiki. So I keep them very separate. So, because there's people that are interested in Reiki that are not interested in tarot, and vice versa. So
Right.
I have Reiki with Kaya and Tarot with Kaya. But Tarot with Kaya, you'll see that it's more active, and it's because I'm more passionate about it, to be honest. I come alive with tarot and with magic.
Yes, I love tarot as well. Tarot is my go-to tool for anything as well. Yes, that's how we met, with tarot.
Exactly, on Instagram.
I think so.
I think it was on Instagram, right?
Right. I'm trying to recall, but yeah, we met through tarot. That's I'm pretty sure about.
Yeah, we did, for sure.
For sure. So it's so good to have you here. This feed will be available in some time. I will send you the link as well. And for rest of the guys, it was wonderful for you guys to join us here. We got amazing questions, amazing responses and comments from all of you, and everything has been very well engaged so far. I hope you guys got some inspiration and some motivation about what you can do with your own spiritual journey and what you can do with magic. Yes. So if anybody wants to contact Kaya, they can do so on Instagram for Reiki or for tarot. The links are over there. And if anybody wants to order 20% off on her tea, please go to the website kayastea.com. It was wonderful to have you. And we'll see you guys again on Thursday with the angel readings at 10 o'clock in the night.
Perfect.
Yep.
Beautiful. I'll try to make it for that. Is that something that you're going to be facilitating?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, I do my readings on I don't haven't done readings on Instagram. I have an Instagram account. I think we are following each other on my tarot account, but that is not a very active account. I am very active on Facebook on this, so this is where I do most of my readings. So that's going to be on Thursday.
Are you doing them in Hindi and English?
Both.
Both. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we have audience from, we have English audience as well. We have most of the people who are joining me here some of them are very regulars who are Indians. So yes, it happens in both the languages, whichever one is comfortable with. So I'm comfortable with both. So those are going to be angel reads. And on the next Sunday, we have Chamali Smith joining us from United Kingdom. Talking about journey to parenthood. She's a happiness coach and she works with expecting parents. So she's going to be here talking about her journey. So Kaya, you're also invited to watch us. It's going to be
Thank
tonight.
you. Would love that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kaya. Thank you so much, guys, for coming.
Thank you, beautiful souls.
Yes, we're going to go off. See you.
See you. Bye.
Bye.